So let's take a look at how thinking about probabilities and the sensitivity and specificity of tests can help us in our clinical reasoning. Let's say that we're seeing an 8-year-old lady who's been admitted with a sudden mild weakness in her left leg. She's got a past medical history of hypertension and AF. From this history already, we can pick out some key points. She's an 8-year-old lady, she's got a sudden mild weakness in her left leg, and she's got a history of hypertension and AF. If we're thinking about illness scripts, the things that happened to me already when thinking about this case is that within System 1, a mild weakness in a unilateral side of her body is indicating a stroke to me. Thinking about System 2 reasoning and analysing this further, she's got risk factors for stroke in terms of hypertension and AF, and also her age. If we examine her further, we find that she's got some facial drooping and she's confused and not able to follow commands. She was able to walk, but she's got some weakness in this side, and it's unilateral with a power of about 3 or 5 but no sensory loss. In my mind, working in the System 2, I'm thinking that this lady may either have a stroke, either ischemic or maybe hemorrhagic if she's had a trauma. I'm thinking that it could also be a lesion, or I'm thinking that it could be something else intracranially, such as CA or lesion, that's causing these symptoms. We could probably attach a probability of stroke to this lady of around 75%. With the rest of them, in terms of if she had red flag symptoms, we may increase them on the space-occupying lesion to around 50. She doesn't have a trauma, so we don't think that it would be a hemorrhagic stroke, unless it was a sudden onset one. And we'd probably attach a probability of that to 30, as we don't think that she's had a trauma and she's had no visible signs of head injury or bruising. The next logical step would be to do a CT head. In the case of a CT head, they have a 42% sensitivity and a 91% specificity. So what we can conclude from this, and watching the next video you'll understand further, that CT heads aren't great for picking up ischemic strokes. They have a low sensitivity, around 42% of 100 will be picked up, but when they are picked up, they've actually got a 91% specificity, so they're actually quite specific sometimes, but they're just not that great at finding them. The next logical step is to head towards a CT head on this lady. And what we can actually use are some calculators on the internet to help us understand this a little bit further. Using probability calculators in clinical practice is probably not a great use of time, but what it can help to demonstrate is that the more sure we are of a diagnosis' probability, the more that we need to be aware that we can add false negative test results. So let's take our patient who we thought might have a stroke, and we can say that we were maybe 75% sure. You can see that I've already added in the sensitivity and specificity. And what you can see is that we've got two results come up on the side. We've got a 93% that the positive test result increases our probability from 75. But interestingly as well, because the sensitivity is so low and our clinical suspicion was so high, is that the negative post-test result, we've still got a 66% chance that the ischemic stroke is there in this lady. And what this indicates here is that we might have a false negative result on this patient, i.e. that the CT head has said no stroke there, and the report says that indeed. However, it's not sensitive enough to actually identify that it's there in the first place. Starting to think in this manner can actually help you avoid the trap, and the trap in this case is to assume that a negative CT head in stroke excludes stroke. Of course, on this patient, if we've got clinical signs and symptoms, we know that the sensitivity is low. We can probably think to exclude other things such as occupying lesion or mass effect or a hemorrhagic stroke. But in this patient, because our pre-test probability of 66% is so high, we would need to move on to something more sensitive and specific. And in this case, we would look to do an MRI on this patient. So as you can see, it would be dangerous to think that a negative test result is always negative. Finding sensitivity and specificity of tests is actually really simple. And with a simple Google search, you can actually find the sensitivity and specificity for all kinds of tests that you'll be using in clinical practice. I've also placed a link to the calculator that I've used in this video below. And you can actually play around with the probabilities that you think that you've got in your assignment relating to the pre-test probability that you would have if you input the sensitivity and specificity into this calculator.